Kevin Costner isn't just Hollywood royalty. He's a dedicated father of 7 children: Annie, Lily, Joe, Liam, Caden, Hayes, and Grace. Each shouldered the challenge of growing up with an icon. Did they follow in Kevin's footsteps or find their own way? One daughter quietly became an award winning documentary producer. Another found her voice in music, singing alongside her famous father. His youngest son developed a passion for adventure sports away from Hollywood's glare. Today, we're diving into what happened to Kevin Costner's 7 children, exploring how they navigated life in the shadow of a legend and where they are now. Some embraced the entertainment industry, others deliberately chose different paths. We'll start at number 7 and work our way to number 1. Number 7, Grace Costner, the young one. Born in June 2010 in Los Angeles, Grace is the youngest Costner child and the third, with his second wife, Christine Baumgartner. Growing up in the 2010s, Grace's childhood coincided with her father's career resurgence, particularly his role as John Dutton in the hit series Yellowstone. Unlike her older half-siblings who grew up in the 1980s and 90s, Grace has experienced childhood in the age of social media and increased privacy concerns for celebrity families. Kevin has been notably protective of Grace and her full siblings, carefully limiting their public exposure while still allowing them normal childhood experiences. She has occasionally appeared at age-appropriate public events with her parents, including the premiere of McFarland USA in 2015. When Kevin and Christine announced their divorce in 2023 after 18 years of marriage, Grace was just 13 years old. Court documents revealed Kevin's commitment to minimizing disruption to his younger children's lives, with both parents prioritizing co-parenting arrangements. In recent interviews, Kevin has mentioned Grace's creative interests, though he's careful not to place any expectations on her future career path. He's noted her artistic eye and natural empathy, qualities that might serve her well regardless of her chosen profession. Today, at 15, Grace remains largely out of the spotlight as she navigates her teenage years. She divides her time between her parents' homes in California, where she attends school and enjoys typical teenage activities. Grace represents the youngest branch of the Costner legacy, still writing the opening chapters of her own story. Number 6, Hayes Costner, the adventurer. Born in February 2009 in Los Angeles, Hayes is Kevin and Christine's middle child. Named after a character from one of Kevin's Western films, Hayes grew up primarily at the family's sprawling compound in Carpinteria, California. The oceanfront property, with its extensive grounds, provided ample space for an active childhood away from Hollywood's constant attention. Kevin has often spoken about Hayes' natural affinity for the outdoors, sharing father-son fishing trips and horseback riding adventures. These experiences echo Kevin's own cinematic roles in rugged frontier settings. In a 2015 interview, Kevin mentioned that Hayes had already developed impressive riding skills, having grown up around horses on their properties. When Kevin filmed Yellowstone in Montana, Hayes and his siblings occasionally visited the set, gaining unique behind-the-scenes exposure to the filmmaking process. Yet Kevin and Christine deliberately maintained a boundary between work and family life. As Hayes entered his teen years, Kevin proudly shared anecdotes about his son's growing interest in adventure sports and environmental causes. In a 2022 appearance on The Kelly Clarkson Show, Kevin mentioned Hayes' participation in a beach cleanup initiative, suggesting an environmental consciousness that mirrors his father's own commitments. Following his parents' divorce in 2023, 14-year-old Hayes continued his education in California while adapting to new family dynamics. Court records indicate the creation of a consistent custody schedule to maintain stability for Hayes and his siblings. Now 16, Hayes maintains a low public profile while pursuing his education and outdoor interests. Friends of the family have noted his easygoing nature and quiet confidence, traits reminiscent of his father. Hayes embodies a new generation of Costners navigating the balance between family legacy and forging an independent identity. Number 5, Kaden Cosner, the athlete. Born in May 2007 in Los Angeles, Kaden is the oldest of Kevin's 3 children with Christine Baumgartner. From an early age, Kaden showed a natural athleticism that caught even his sports-oriented father by surprise. Kevin has frequently mentioned Kaden's baseball talents in interviews, proudly watching from the sidelines as his son developed his skills on the diamond. Growing up on the family's coastal California estate, Kaden benefited from both privacy and privilege. Kevin constructed a baseball field on their property, allowing Kaden to practice without public scrutiny while receiving coaching from former professionals in his father's network. Despite having access to Hollywood's inner circles, Kaden's parents emphasized education and normalcy. He attended local schools where, by all accounts, he balanced academics with his sporting pursuits. Kevin has mentioned being particularly hands-on with Kaden's upbringing, coaching his youth teams and rarely missing games despite busy film schedules. In 2019, a then 12-year-old Kaden made a rare red carpet appearance with his father at the premiere of The Art of Racing in the Rain, one of the few times Kevin has brought his younger children into the public eye. Observers noted the striking resemblance between father and son. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, Kaden reportedly used the unexpected time with his father to refine his baseball skills further, with Kevin later sharing that these months of focused training represented a silver lining during a challenging time. The 2023 divorce between Kevin and Christine came during Kaden's formative teenage years. Court documents revealed that despite the split, both parents remained actively involved in his athletic pursuits, coordinating schedules to ensure neither missed important games or tournaments. Today, at 18, Kaden continues to excel in baseball while completing his education. Though he hasn't publicly declared career intentions, his athletic trajectory suggests possibilities in sports that would chart a course distinct from his father's Hollywood path. Kaden's story shows how even with a legendary name, one can carve out personal passions that stand apart from family fame. Number 4, Liam Costner, The Private One. Born in November 1996 to Kevin Costner and Bridget Rooney, Liam represents a unique branch of the Costner family tree. Liam's early life unfolded largely away from the Hollywood spotlight. Following a brief relationship between Kevin and Bridget, niece of Pittsburgh Steelers owner Art Rooney, Liam's paternity was reportedly confirmed through a DNA test. Kevin subsequently acknowledged Liam as his son and established financial support arrangements. Growing up primarily with his mother, Liam experienced a childhood distinctly different from his half-siblings. While the details of his upbringing remain private by choice, reports indicate he was raised in a wealthy environment, splitting time between homes in California and the East Coast. Unlike his other siblings, Liam has rarely appeared publicly with his father. This distance has fueled occasional tabloid speculation, though both parties have maintained dignity through their silence on private family matters. What's clear is that Liam has consistently chosen to maintain his privacy. In 2010, Liam's mother married billionaire Bill Koch of the prominent Koch family, adding another dimension to his upbringing. This connection placed Liam adjacent to not only Hollywood royalty, but also one of America's wealthiest industrial families. Liam reportedly attended private schools on the East Coast before pursuing higher education. Unlike some of his siblings, he has shown no public interest in entertainment careers, instead focusing on business studies according to occasional reports from family friends. Now 28, Liam maintains a deliberately low profile. He doesn't maintain public social media accounts and rarely appears in photographs with either the Costner or Koch families. This choice suggests a deliberate decision to build an identity separate from his famous lineages. Liam's story reminds us that sometimes the most powerful assertion of identity is the choice to remain private despite public curiosity. Number 3, Joe Costner, the filmmaker. Born in January 1988 in Los Angeles, Joe is the youngest of Kevin's 3 children with his first wife, Cindy Silva. Joe experienced his early childhood during the peak of his father's Hollywood fame. Born the year Bull. Durham cemented Kevin's stardom. Joe's formative years coincided with his father's biggest commercial and critical successes, including Field of Dreams, Dances with Wolves, and The Bodyguard. When Joe was 6, his parents' high-profile divorce altered the family dynamic. Despite the separation, Kevin maintained an active presence in Joe's life. Growing up in the aftermath of his parents' public split gave Joe an early education in media scrutiny and the value of privacy. Unlike his sisters, who occasionally accompanied their father to red carpet events, Joe remained relatively sheltered from the public eye throughout his adolescence. Friends of the family have suggested this reflected both his personality and his parents' desire to provide normalcy. Joe's interest in filmmaking emerged during his high school years. Rather than leveraging his famous surname, he reportedly sought hands-on experience through school productions and independent projects, developing technical skills from the ground up. In a notable step toward the family business, Joe made a brief acting appearance alongside his father in the 1996 film The Postman. Though the film wasn't a commercial success, the experience provided valuable insight into the industry's workings. After studying film at college, Joe began working behind the camera, preferring the creative control of production to the public exposure of acting. He has worked on various independent projects, deliberately establishing credentials separate from his father's influence. Today, at 37, Joe works in film production with a focus on documentary projects. Industry colleagues describe him as hardworking and humble, someone who lets his work speak for itself rather than trading on the Costner name. Joe's journey reflects a thoughtful navigation of a powerful legacy, embracing the family craft while carving out a distinct professional identity. Number 2. Lily Costner, the singer. Born in August 1986 in Los Angeles, Lily is the middle child of Kevin and his first wife, Cindy Silva. Lily's childhood unfolded during her father's meteoric rise to becoming Hollywood's highest-paid actor. From The Untouchables to Field of Dreams, she witnessed her father's transformation into a household name while growing up on film sets and at industry events. The dissolution of her parents' marriage in 1994, when Lily was 8, marked a significant transition. Despite the public nature of the divorce, both Kevin and Cindy worked to shield their children from media attention while maintaining stability in their lives. Unlike some children of Hollywood royalty, Lily discovered her own artistic voice through music rather than acting. Her melodic talents emerged during her teen years with her rich, soulful voice, suggesting musical influences beyond her father's cinematic world. Lily made her formal singing debut on the soundtrack of her father's 2000 film, The Postman, recording the Baby Mine song. This collaboration represented not just a father-daughter moment, but the first public expression of her own artistic identity. Her education reportedly included formal vocal training while attending college in Southern California. During this period, she began performing at small venues, gradually building confidence and repertoire while honoring her desire for a measure of normalcy. In 2010, Lily's musical career gained momentum when she sang backing vocals for Kevin's band Modern West, occasionally joining them on tour. These performances showcased their genuine musical connection while allowing Lily to develop her stage presence. A highlight of their musical collaboration came in 2012 with their duet, Heaven's Gate, from the famous For Killing Each Other, music from and inspired by Hatfields and McCoy's album. The track highlighted Lily's evocative vocal quality and their natural harmonic blend. Today, at 39, Lily continues to pursue music while maintaining a balanced approach to public life. She makes selective appearances at industry events while preserving personal space for creative development. Her Instagram occasionally offers glimpses of recording sessions and performances, suggesting ongoing musical projects. Lily demonstrates that finding one's voice sometimes means harmonizing with the legacy rather than attempting to outsing it. Number 1. Annie Costner, the producer. Born in April 1984 in Los Angeles, Annie is Kevin's eldest child from his marriage to Cindy Silva. As the firstborn, Annie experienced her father's transition from struggling actor to Hollywood star. Her early childhood coincided with Kevin's breakthrough roles in The Untouchables and Bull Durham, providing her a front-row seat to the machinery of fame from a young age. The public dissolution of her parents' marriage in 1994, when Annie was 10, taught early lessons about media scrutiny and the importance of family bonds beyond public narratives. Both Kevin and Cindy worked to maintain stability for their children despite the high-profile split. Annie showed an early interest in her father's profession, making a brief appearance in his 1990 epic Dances with Wolves when she was just 6 years old. However, rather than pursuing acting, she developed a passion for the storytelling aspects of filmmaking. After completing her education, including studies in communication, Annie began carving her own path in the industry. She gained experience working in various production roles, building a resume based on merit rather than family connections. In 2014, Annie took a significant professional step by founding Sound Off Films, her own production company focused on documentary storytelling. This move established her independent creative identity while building on her family's legacy of visual storytelling. A major milestone came in 2015 when Annie produced the documentary The Discarded: A Tale of Two Rios, which examined environmental issues surrounding the 2016 Rio Olympics. The project won the Best Documentary Award at the Social Impact Film Festival, validating her creative vision beyond her famous surname. Annie's personal life reached a joyful milestone in July 2016 when she married Dr. Danny Cox in an intimate ceremony at her father's private estate in Carpinteria, California. Kevin walked her down the aisle in one of the family's rare publicly documented private moments. In recent years, Annie has continued developing documentary projects with social and environmental themes. Her work demonstrates a commitment to using storytelling as a vehicle for awareness and change, echoing but distinct from her father's own legacy of films with social consciousness. Today, at 41, Annie balances her production career with family life. She occasionally appears at industry events with her father, but primarily lets her work speak for itself. Colleagues describe her as thoughtful, determined, and genuine, qualities that have helped her establish respect on her own terms. Annie's journey reflects how the strongest legacies aren't simply inherited, but thoughtfully reimagined for a new generation. The seven Costner children represent different chapters of a complex family narrative, one that transcends the typical Hollywood dynasty story. Spread across 3 decades and 3 relationships, they've experienced their father's fame from varying distances and perspectives. Some have embraced creative paths that echo Kevin's own journey, while others have deliberately sought identities separate from the entertainment industry. What unites their stories is the careful navigation of a powerful legacy. And for the older children, this meant growing up under the full glare of their father's peak fame, learning to distinguish between public persona and private person. For the younger ones, it has meant childhood in an era of social media and constant connectivity, requiring different boundaries and protections. Kevin himself has evolved as a father across these generations of children. From the young actor balancing breakthrough success with new parenthood to the established industry veteran drawing on decades of life experience, his approach to fatherhood has matured alongside his career. By all accounts, he has prioritized presence over perfection, maintaining meaningful connections despite the complications of geography, schedules, and blended family dynamics. The Costner children remind us that legacies are not burdens to be carried, but foundations to build upon, each generation adding their own story to the family narrative, whether in the spotlight or deliberately beyond it.